Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Beauty Secret, how to turn back the clock for healthy and youthful skin. Tune in the last speaker of this lovely summit today. And this is one of the most important assets for age management that you won't want to miss it with Dr. Laura. She is a functional medically trained health high-performing women. We are going to dive in the topic of nutrition, skin health, gut health, and diet, and more. Okay, let's welcome her to the show. Welcome, Dr. Laura.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to have our little chat today.
So can you tell us who you are and what you do? Please.
Yes, so my name is Dr. Laura DeCesaris, and I am a functional medicine healthcare provider. I work with my clients who are women on how to perform better, feel better, and look better from the inside out. So I use a combination of nutrition, lifestyle tips, movement, and mindset work. And I find that all of these things together help give us a really solid foundation for health. So especially when it comes to your skin, it's great to have a good skincare routine in place, but also really important to pay attention to what we're putting into our bodies, because that's often reflected in our skin health.
Yeah, and that's why I invite you to this show for. Whatever you're doing is way alive with me. That's what I was saying. This is the most important part of the most important asset for age management. Not only for age management, I should say for everyone, right? So
Absolutely.
talking about healthy, youthful skin, we are talking about self-love, self-care, self-appearance, right? So whenever you see something at the mirror that you don't like it, you have to do part that have to do with your nutrition, your diet, your well-being, your lifestyle, your gut health, right? So let's start with ask you a few questions,
Sure.
Dr. Dora. So how does our nutrition affect our skin health and appearance?
Sure. So we could talk literally all day about this.
Yeah, I'm so I'm very exciting about this topic.
When we're looking at our skin health, I like to explain to women to think about your skin as it's also one of our organs, right? And it's a big detox organ. So when we're eating a lot of foods that are inflammatory, if we don't have a nutrient dense diet, meaning we're eating a lot of packaged or processed foods that don't have a lot of good vitamins and minerals in them, that can show up on our skin health. And it often presents as acne, as dull skin, as premature aging skin, skin that doesn't quite have that plump, youthful appearance. And while, yes, some of these things happen naturally with aging, but we find when people really focus on a good nutrient-dense diet, their skin generally looks healthier, and not just the skin on their face, the skin all over their body, because we're giving it the nutrition it needs to do its job, to turn over, to protect us from our outside environment, the toxins in our environment that we deal with every day, and we get our good detox through our skin as well. So I don't necessarily recommend one nutritional approach to every woman. It's obviously a very individualized thing, but generally focusing on a diet that has a lot of whole foods in it, your fruits, your vegetables, your quality proteins, your healthy fats. This is going to set you up for a really good, healthy skin foundation starting on the inside.
So since you're talking about food, so what are some food that we supposed to be, should be included as a part of age management? And what are some food that we should avoid?
Sure. So let's start with foods that we can focus on adding in for healthy skin. So the first I want to talk about is your healthy fats. I know a lot of people are still a little nervous about fats. They don't want to eat too many, but as long as you're eating the right quality fats, that's reflected in your skin health, and your skin is going to just function much better. So some examples of that are things like fatty fish that are rich in omega-3s, like your salmon or your sardines, things like avocado, olives, olive oil, avocado oil, all of these good healthy fats. If you primarily use those as the bulk of the fat content in your diet, it's going to set you up for healthy skin and healthy cell membranes. And then on the flip side of that, if we want to think about kind of fats to avoid, things like trans fats, stuff we find in a lot of processed and packaged foods. You want to watch certain oils. So your vegetable oils, cooking in things like canola oil or seed oils, you kind of want to limit those and focus on cooking in more healthy fats instead. The fat quality is really, really important when it comes to your skin. Other foods that are really great for skin health are things that help with our antioxidants. So think your fresh fruits and vegetables, things like berries, kind of that whole thing of eating the rainbow that a lot of women hear about. It's really important.
Colorful.
Sweet potatoes and carrots, all different colors. And I find sometimes women get a little overwhelmed. They're like, oh my gosh, I didn't eat my purple vegetables today. So instead of trying to eat like 30 vegetables in a day, think about it in the time span of like a couple days at a time. Like, all right, if I get my purple and my blue fruits or veggies in twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, and my orange vegetables in 2 or 3 times a week, that's enough for you to get the good nutritional content that your skin wants and needs. And then when we're talking about things that maybe we should avoid or limit in the diet when it comes to skin health, sugar is at top of the list here. Things that have refined carbohydrates and a lot of sugar added to them should be, I think, treated more as special occasion foods or treats. If we're having them all the time, that can definitely show up in our skin health, maybe cause appearance of like dark circles under your eyes. It can definitely worsen acne cases. So sugar's a big one. We already mentioned processed kind of trans fats, that type of thing to limit. And really, like, drinks and beverages are the other thing to look at. So if you're really trying to get good skin health, like, alcohol is not going to help you out. The sugary coffee drinks are not going to help you out. Sodas are not going to help you out in that department. Making sure you're staying hydrated with a lot of water. Lemon water is really great for skin. And kind of, again, treating those other things as special occasions versus staples in your diet.
So since you mentioned about lemon water, so like I heard some of the article, they saying like you're not supposed to drink too much lemon water. But I think 1 cup of lemon water every morning should be fine, right, Dr. Laura?
Yeah, a lot of women like the routine of a cup of warm lemon water, or even just room temperature water with some lemon, just as a daily thing. Something to kind of watch with when you're talking about having too much lemon water. We do have to think about like our tooth health here, right? It's very acidic. So people are just slugging down lemon water all day. It can definitely have a negative impact on the teeth. But as something once a day, like, yeah, some warm lemon water, starting your day out that way, I think the health benefits outweigh the potential harm of that for most people. And it just kind of really helps get your system started off on a good note.
Yeah, I've been practicing this every morning. Like I wake up, I will drink a cup of warm lemon with water, warm water with lemon. That's why I tell my other client do that. So, and the other day I was talking about, I was reading the article. That's why I asked you. I think 1 cup a day doesn't hurt, right?
Right.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing all those fat things, fat food and fat food to avoid and fat oil. And to come to the next question, I would like to ask you about how about some home and beauty product impact your skin?
How does what impact the skin?
How can our home and beauty product impact our skin?
Right. So earlier I mentioned when we're thinking about the skin that we have to think of all of its different roles in the body, right? So it's more than just a covering. It's part of our detox system, and it's also a protective barrier against the outside environment. So we see that people who live in more polluted environments, it can have negative impacts on skin health. More wrinkles, like a more dull skin, just because it's a stressor, right? Just the same way that mental stress or dietary stress can impact the skin, so can environmental stress. And for women in particular, we have to think about this because compared to men, most of us put a lot more products on our skin on a daily basis, right? Like I think the average for women is like anywhere from 80 to 100 chemicals go on our skin between our shampoo and our body wash and our facial products and our makeup and everything else. So while these things can help us with cleaning our skin and putting nice makeup on it, the quality can matter too, because a lot of these chemicals have been linked to inflammation, to chronic disease, and more. So I like to tell women to go check out websites like EWG, the Environmental Working Group, where you can actually put in your home cleaning products, your makeup, your body cleaning products, and they give you a grade, like an A or a B or a C, and it kind of tells you why it gets that grade. So things that have a ton of chemicals in them generally are things that maybe you should think about making a product swap for. And this is way easier than it used to be. There's a lot more cleaner beauty brands out there now that don't have quite as many chemicals in them. A lot more people are able to use like facial oils for moisturizing versus the heavy cream-based moisturizers, which tend to have less ingredients in them. But all of those things that we're slathering on our skin all the time, these go into our body, right? So maybe it helps moisturize our skin, but we want to make sure that it's not setting off inflammation processes in the body, because that puts us in a vicious cycle, right? Then inflammation in the body shows up on our skin and we think, oh my gosh, we have to use more product. Our skin doesn't look good. And it's really just creating this ongoing cycle that we want to escape.
Yeah, since you mentioned about inflammation, the inflammation, it not only affects the skin, but our whole body, the body health as well.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot thing with disease. Like, it's vulnerable to disease, like anything, right?
Yeah, and inflammation is really like small amounts of inflammation can be a good thing, right? They cause the body to repair and renew tissues. But what we do know about chronic illness, kind of chronic symptoms like migraines or acne or gut issues, that inflammation is at the root of most of these, if not all of them. So it's definitely something to pay attention to in terms of how you can reduce the inflammatory input that's coming into your body.
Right. Thank you for sharing. So since we talk about beauty, I know collagen is a big topic everybody is talking about. So what are some ways that we can import, increase the collagen in our diet?
Yes, collagen is definitely a buzzy thing in the last couple of years for sure, and for good reason. It definitely can help us with our skin health and also with the growth of our hair and our nails, and just generally have good beauty benefits. But it also has a lot of benefits inside our body. It helps us maintain joint health. It helps with our gut health. So overall, it's actually something that's really great to focus on. And you can do a combination approach here. You can do supplements. There's lots of capsules and a ton of different powder supplements on the market now. Just look for ones that aren't overly sweetened with sugar, of course. Can definitely help with the beauty benefits, but you can also focus on getting it in just through the food you're eating. So things like bone broth, if you're a meat eater, meat that's cooked on the bone, obviously you want it to be quality meats, think organic and grass-fed when you can. These are some really good food sources that you can work pretty easily into your diet as well. Bone broth is something that's great for sipping or just cooking with as your soup bases. So really easy way to kind of get those things in directly, in addition to focusing on just the supplemental part.
Yeah, like I heard a lot of people like taking this kind of supplement for collagen, for hair, for nail, but I do like like holistic method. Just like you mentioned, the food, like bone broth. I cook bone broth and then put in a refrigerator and then sit for overnight. So all those oil on the top, we just take it out and then we just use that bone broth to cook with any vegetable. That's right. What I do.
Yeah, and it's so easy to batch cook it in just a big soup pot and freeze it, and you have it for a while. So a very cost-effective way of doing that. The supplements can definitely get pricey, and I'm just personally of the mindset that if we can do things through food first, that's ideal, and then the supplements are there for that, to supplement a healthy diet.
And then what kind of supplement, like if people are looking for, like for the increase the collagen, what kind of supplement are you kind of recommend?
Yeah, so I can give you an example of a couple brands. I'm not associated with these or anything. They're just brands that I personally love and use. I love Vital Proteins. They make just an unflavored collagen peptide that dissolves really easily in either hot or cold liquids. So I've put it in coffee, I've put it in smoothies, doesn't taste like anything. That's a really easy way to do it. I like Multi-Collagen by Ancient Nutrition. They have ones that are mildly flavored as vanilla or chocolate, but they don't have added sugar in them. And again, they dissolve really easily. What I like about the multi-collagen too is that it has several different types of collagen, because there's actually like 16 types of collagen in the body. So the more that you're getting into your diet, the more benefits you'll get in terms of, yes, skin health, but also hair growth and joint support and gut health as well. So those are my two favorite brands. I know there's a lot of other ones out there. So I would just say, if you're looking at the labels, check for that sugar content. And then you want to be making sure you're getting somewhere from 10 to 20 grams of collagen per scoop.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Laura. So now we kind of, I want to, yeah, this is a big topic. Gut health, digestion. Is impact everything in our appearance, our body, skin health, our body health, right? So when we have a poor gut health, our skin can actually impact, right, our appearance, like I told you. So what are some ways we can support the gut in order to have get a healthy gut and glowing skin?
Absolutely. Yeah. So gut health, good gut health is really at the foundation of every system in our body. And when our gut isn't working properly, like maybe we're not breaking down our food enough because we need some digestive enzyme support, or we just have an imbalance in all the different little microbes in our gut, that can actually show up on the skin before people even feel digestive symptoms. It can show up as acne, it can show up as rashes or eczema. So it's something that's really important to pay attention to as part of a holistic skincare routine. So this is something that generally, I think it's really good to work with a practitioner on, whether that's a functional medicine doctor or a coach or a nutritionist who really specializes in gut health, because it's very individual, based on each person's pretty much life experiences. So there's a couple things you want to pay attention to. We've already talked a little bit about nutrition. So what you're putting into your gut is obviously very important. If you're filling it with a bunch of processed foods and inflammatory fats and sugar, it's not going to give you the best setup for gut health to begin with. But some people, they've had things going on that maybe they're not getting enough nutrients in to make adequate stomach acid levels. So they're just not breaking down the food to begin with. Maybe people eat really fast and they're not chewing their food. So instead of getting a nice digestive process from the get-go, the digestive system gets a little stressed because it's trying to break down these big chunks of food, which it wasn't made to do. This can start off an inflammatory process in the gut that basically ends up causing something that's colloquially called leaky gut. Some of the biggest symptoms of leaky gut are skin issues, in addition to just digestive issues. I've seen plenty of women come in who say, my digestion's fine, but their skin is a mess, and we trace it back to their gut, even though they didn't think they were having gut problems. So we need to make sure that digestion is actually working good from a machinery standpoint. We need to focus on what we're putting into the gut. And then if someone has a gut that's inflamed, or the microbial environment is out of balance, we can do things to support that too. Again, through healthy dietary changes, maybe get a good probiotic in there, make sure there's not any infections lingering that we need to help clear out, make sure they're drinking enough water, that they have regular bowel movements. So if we can get a strong, healthy gut with a good barrier, and we can make sure that everything is working the way it needs to from a digestion and breakdown and elimination standpoint, generally this will be reflected in the skin as healthy, glowing skin. If those things aren't working, we can start to see things like dark circles, dull skin, just look kind of tired. The skin loses its turgor, feels a little flappier than it should. Acne, rosacea, rashes. So gut health is definitely something that's really important to pay attention to if you are struggling with your skin.
So like for someone that they struggle with the gut health, they need to look for nutrition like coach to guide them go through all those the plan, the diet, and everything.
Yeah, and my reason for recommending that people work with someone is that, look, there's a ton of information on the internet. We all know that. It's great. But I would hate to see a woman try and go it on her own and end up overly restricting herself and putting herself at the risk of nutrient deficiencies, cutting out food she didn't need to cut out because she read on the internet that she had to. So working with a qualified practitioner can make sure that both physically and mentally you maintain a healthy relationship with food while you're fixing up your gut health.
Yeah, since you mentioned that, it's totally true. People nowadays, because the internet, all kind of information on internet, and people just want to go in and try out by themselves, but it's not really like everybody is different. You need coach to help you, right? It's like your gut health. You need nutrition coach, skincare. You need a skincare expert to help you.
Absolutely.
Well, so let's see where. Okay, for someone, I think you already mentioned that. For someone like they try to figure out how to, their diet is can negative impact them. Then, so how can they, figure out and trying to do things, and what's your advice for them?
Yeah, so if someone
mentioned some of them.
Yeah, I would say if someone is just starting out with trying to figure out, okay, is my diet or my lifestyle contributing to my skin issues? Focus on the basics first, which is, what am I putting in my body? So do I have a nutrient dense diet that's full of a variety of whole foods, or am I eating, a lot of microwave meals and sodas? How is my sleep? Am I prioritizing sleep, or am I staying up way too late on my devices? And am I drinking water and moving my body? So those kind of 4 pillars are good starting places for you to look at and maybe realize, like, okay, I think my nutrition's okay, but maybe I'm not drinking enough water and I don't really exercise much. So you can start just by drinking more water and moving your body a little bit, and then you see what happens. If you think your nutrition is more an issue, it's a good idea to say, okay, well, let me, maybe start food journaling and write down what I eat during the day and see if I can look at any patterns with my skin issues that come with eating certain foods. Obviously, there's different layers of this. People can try taking foods out, putting foods in, but I think starting with just an awareness of those healthy habits in those 4 areas is a really good starting place that most people can at least feel out if they have a good routine in place and where they might need to troubleshoot issues and work with someone to help support specific areas.
Great. So Dr. Laura, for you, because you live in Arizona, if let's say one of my clients, they want to get some your help. So can you help them through virtual?
Yes, so I'm lucky I had telehealth in place actually before everything with COVID happened. But now I think everyone's discovered that you can work with people remotely pretty much all over the world. So yes, I have a telehealth platform in place. I work with clients all over the world. We just basically sign on like you and I are right now and talk through what's going on and how I can support them.
Then this one is a virtual one now. So everything like you would like to add on, Dr. Laura, anything we need to eliminate the food beside all these things that you just told us? What else we need to eliminate the food?
The biggest advice I would say when it comes to nutrition and your skin health is, instead of trying to zero in and say, okay, if I cut out this food, it's going to be the answer to all my problems. I actually encourage women to step back and say, okay, overall with my nutrition, what does it look like from the bigger picture? Because one supplement or removing one food is rarely the answer. It has to do with what we're consistently doing day in and day out. So if most of the time you're eating a quality nutrient dense diet and kind of limiting the inflammation that's coming into your body, that's going to be reflected not just in your skin, but in your mood, in your digestion, and everything else. Versus kind of looking for that Band-Aid solution, like, oh, well, if I cut out pizza, it'll be the answer to everything. Well, not necessarily. It matters more the small habits that we're doing consistently every day.
Right. I think that's we come to the end. Let's wrap up with all this question.
Okay.
I know, and like I said, you whatever you're doing is very aligned with me. I love holistic method. Everything is holistic. I love it because I was grown up in a traditional Chinese family. Right, my mom, she always used the holistic method to take care of us. When I was sick, I don't know, know this thing. When I was sick, she using mint oil, and the guasa too. So she flipped me over the back and she did all the guasa. Oh boy, I was crying so hard. She tried to finish it. By the time she finished, I felt like my whole body was sweat, and I felt way better. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then, the lemongrass, boil the lemongrass water, and then cover up with the blanket and sit inside, steam for 10, 15 minutes. When you have flu or anything or congestion or anything, I gonna feel like better 1 or 2 days, getting better without taking any Western style medicine.
Yeah, just kind of doing all these little things that support what your body knows how to do, right? We're born with the ability to do these things, but sometimes we just have to encourage the body to do its job a little bit. So I love that. I love that that's been your experience.
Yeah, I've been practicing all this since until now. Because, my dad, who the one raising 10 children, and we don't have that a lot of money to go see the word doctor or, take medicine. That's how she did it for us. Anyway, we're going to wrap up for today. And then thank you for your time and your sharing and your knowledge, Dr. Laura. I truly appreciate. And thank you, everyone. And then this will be end for this show today. And then if some of you haven't had a chance to register, please go to our website, thebeautyjourney.com, submit, and then register. And then you will get all this expert sharing as a gift. Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.